Hello, my loves. Welcome to another episode of Release. I'm your host, Adriana, and I am so honored and grateful that you've taken the time to listen to what I have to say. And today I want to talk about trusting our journey. Your journey may not look the way you thought it would look. Your process may not feel as easy as it may look for other people. You may find yourself frequently frustrated or frequently on the edge of giving up. We can talk about the healing journey, and I've said on here many times that I believe that the healing journey is a lifelong one, and that it is nonlinear, and that it keeps going back and forth and around, and it feels like you have gotten off the little train of your journey, and then you get back on, and it feels like a lot is happening, and it just isn't chronological like we see certain things. There's no point A to point B. It's more point A, and then you may jump over B to get to C, and then you may get back to A, and then you may go all the way to F and then come back to D. Like, there may be a lot of swirls and whirls and turns that you weren't expecting. And sometimes what I'm learning currently in this moment as I am speaking, sometimes in life, there are certain journeys that we have to get off of completely. There are some journeys that aren't going to take us anywhere, and we have to get back to the drawing board, and we have to figure out, okay, what is it that I actually want? Why am I so hell bent on this one thing? Why do I have to get this one thing? Why do you want those things? Do you want to do them because they fulfill you? Do you want to do them because they push you towards your purpose? Or do you want to do them because will make your ego feel good? And I've sat with that question recently, and it has come up for me in a different way. I've talked about having locks on here and about how much I love my hair, and about how much I have loved the journey, how it has helped me with my own self-love and my own growth, and it has been beautiful, or it was beautiful. Because the other day, I felt myself battling with this idea of cutting my hair. And before I got locks, I really wanted to cut my hair, but I had allowed other people's words, mostly like my parents saying boys have short hair, blah blah blah, whatever parents say, getting into my head, and me kind of abandoning what I wanted to do. And now, of course, we honor divine timing, and now I know that, it just wasn't the right time for me to do that. So I just celebrated 2 years of having my locks last month. And I recently cut off my locks. I felt as though, although the journey has been so beautiful, and yes, I've cut off my locks, that doesn't mean that the journey has ended, that the self-love journey has ended, that the self-growth journey has ended. But hair carries energy, and I was beginning to feel really, really, really overwhelmed with life. There were a lot of things that were coming up from childhood, from more recent years, that were really, really starting to weigh me down. And I think my first step to recognizing, like, hey, Like, you don't have to carry all of this. You don't have to weigh yourself down. You don't have to do it alone. And Spirit is showing me over and over that I will always have people that love me around me. I will always have someone who's in my corner, but I have to ask for help. You have to ask for help. And I found myself those few days before I cut my hair, I realized that a lot of people were coming out of the woodworks and asking, "Are you okay? The universe told me to tell you this. I really feel in my spirit that you need to hear this." People coming out and asking me. And at one point in my journey, I would have neglected the help. And I'm not saying that as soon as anybody comes and says, "How are you?" you're supposed to spill your guts to them. Because you use your own intuition and you use your own knowing, and you know who you are supposed to be sharing your soul with. Trust yourself. But these people that were coming to me were people that had genuinely good, from my perspective, from how my intuition feels, they had genuine good intentions for me. And I found myself being more and more open with these people, not necessarily spilling my guts, because I had a lot of, or I am dealing with a lot of things that are triggering. And they're triggering to me because there are things that I've experienced, of course, and there are things that maybe these other people have experienced, and Spirit is saying to talk about them because they may have some things to say. But again, there's fear because I don't want to trigger anybody. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I don't want to ruin anyone's day. So it's more about me recognizing, like, hey, Spirit is sending these people to me because they want me to get a bit of a load off. They want me to feel seen. They want me to feel heard. They want me to know that they're always there for me. And after I had a few of these conversations, people just popping up saying, "Hey, I haven't talked to you. I love you," stuff like that. I was realizing that I don't have to carry it all. And I have never cut my hair before in my life. Split ends, dead ends, whatever, yes, but I've never had a big chop before. And I was thinking about it. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll just, go to a barber shop." Or maybe because I had dyed my hair red, I was like, maybe I'll wait until the black, like my natural color grows out more so that I have more length. And Spirit kept telling me, it is time. I've been saying it is time, it is time, it is time since December. Every time somebody comes to me with something about, "Oh, I'm not sure," Spirit always puts it in me. It's time. It is time. It is time. It is time. And I got the scissors out. I got a plastic bag to put the hair in, and I was sitting in front of the TV. And every time I opened the scissors and I got close to cutting it, I stopped myself. And there was so much resistance to wanting to really resurrect myself and to really begin on this new part of my journey. So much resistance. The ego saying, "Your hair has never been this short. What if you don't look good? What if you hate it? What if you regret it? Oh my gosh, in a few months your hair is going to be blah, blah, blah." And I decided, I was like, it is time. Stop waiting, stop waiting, stop waiting. So I went into the washroom, in the mirror, and I looked at myself. And I played some nice calming music, and I held on to I was, even in the process of actually doing it, I was scared, because if I had cut one in the front, then I would have no choice but to cut it all off. But I still started at the back, and I held on to it, and I took a deep breath, and still there was so much resistance. And then I counted down. I said, when I get to 1, I'm going to cut this. And I said 3, 2, 1. And even when I said 1, I was still shaking, but I did it. And then now I said, there's no turning back. Now, in that moment, I was recognizing that it was time for this new phase of my journey. It was time for me to shed. It was time for me to stop holding. And it was time for me to start alchemizing all the things that I was really just weighing myself down with. Sometimes I would look at myself and I see the bags under my eyes. I feel like my eyes are so dark and I feel like I'm just holding so much so tightly. I'm just so used to being so tight with the depths of my pain. Because yes, the vulnerability, the way that I see my own vulnerability is that I see that I'm able to be vulnerable, but it only goes so far. Some people can't open up at all. I can open up, but only to a certain degree. I can speak on my pain only to a certain degree. There are certain things that come on here that I'm not afraid to share, but there are certain things that I'm very vague about. And I recognize that, but it's because those are things that I still have to work through. And as I work through them, that is the only way that I feel I will be able to really, really allow myself to be vulnerable. And now, my first step is shedding. The first step of this is recognizing that we need to shed. Recognizing that the process of shedding begins with that first step. With me reclaiming that I am full of light, reclaiming that I deserve to be light, that I should feel as though life is worth living. Because I was feeling as though, okay, this is just bad thing after bad thing, so much coming up. I was like, universe, I can't do it. I really feel like I can't do it. This is a lot. I am overwhelmed. And I cut my hair and my mom saw it and she said, okay, you have to go to the barber shop tomorrow because that doesn't look good. You have to go get them to cut off all the rest of the red. I was like, fine, that's cool. I mean, there's no turning back now. And it's funny because I cut my hair on the 13th and the next day was Valentine's Day and I called the barber shop that I wanted to go to. And I was like, you guys probably have a bunch of appointments because it's Valentine's Day. So I wanted to know when I can come in. And he's like, come in at this time, blah, blah, blah. I was like, perfect. So I went and I ended up seeing someone that I know. And not only did he end up driving me home, but he ended up getting me a rose. It felt like the universe saying, congrats for showing yourself some love. It wasn't the vessel that it was coming through. It was the message that it was coming through. And that regardless, the message was that I am worthy of feeling loved and feeling attended to and feeling cared for. And while I was getting my head shaved, the barber was like, you look really good. Like, this really, really suits you. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, yeah, from the first second that I did that shave, I knew that it would look good. And since then, people have been complimenting me on this choice that I was so scared to make. And when I got home that day, I had to take a good shower and wash my hair because if you've ever shaved your head, you know that hair is everywhere. There's hair in my eye, hair on my neck, there's hair everywhere. So I had to get a good scrub and really, really wash my hair properly. And after that, I looked at myself in the mirror and it felt like there was this veil that had been lifted. I looked at myself and I was like, you are so beautiful, my love. You are so beautiful. And it wasn't my face that I was saying was beautiful. It's like I could see that my soul was starting to rise up out of its ashes. And I could finally see my own light, my own beautiful path that I was taking. I could see that I'd been trying my best. I could see that surrender looks good on me. Giving the universe all of the weight sounds good on me. Just because I shave my head doesn't mean everything's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm no longer overwhelmed. It means that now I am only taking as much as I can. I am only doing as much as possible, and I give the rest to the universe. And if they say, hold on, wait, it's about divine timing, then I have to hold on and wait. And I have to find peace in the waiting. I have to find peace in the sitting still. I have to find peace in the recognition that the universe is doing what is best for me. And we are trusting that the universe is always doing what is best for us. And that is all I have to say today. I love you guys so much. Please be gentle with yourselves. Take some time to love on yourself. Take some time to really say thank you, self, for dealing with everything I've put you through. Thank you, source, universe, higher power, for sitting with me and for loving me and caring for me and looking out for me regardless. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with me.